Welcome back to another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. I'm Jenny Keller of Jenny Cookies, and this is my mortgage guy, Dan.
And this is probably going to be our most boring podcast, according to Jenny, of the year. But I promise you, it's going to be very, very, very valuable. So
Dan's been really excited for this one, and I've hesitated, thinking, are people going to enjoy this? Because we're going to talk a lot about the B word. One of my least favorite words.
Budgeting.
I don't like it. Do you guys like the word budget?
Let's start off with this. How many of our listeners are familiar with Dave Ramsey? Okay.
I bet a lot.
I bet a lot. And I know that there's a lot of good things that Dave Ramsey says. There's a lot of things that are not relevant to everyone. Dave Ramsey gives good blanket financial advice for the masses. But he had a big part in my career getting into finance.
Taught Dave Ramsey at our church at one time.
I've taught it three times. Financial Peace University.
Yes.
But the reason why I open with this is Dave Ramsey talks about the free spirit and the nerd. And
what are those two things?
Kind of you and I right here. You're the free spirit, the pretty little free spirit, and I'm the nerd. But with that said, obviously you manage your money really great. We both do. And that was one of the things that actually attracted me to you when I first met you, that you were very young, but you had a good head on your shoulders relative to money and finances, and you weren't out living beyond your means. But I think it's a great way to open the show, because I think that if you're in a relationship with someone, it's really important to understand that there, most of the time, is someone that's Dave Ramsey would call it a bean counter, right?
Yeah.
And then there's someone out there that isn't paying attention to the beans.
Yeah, and you and I were on a wall walk. We always say that, but we were saying one of the biggest financial decisions of your life is typically, you always say, your home purchase. And then we've retracted that and said one of the biggest financial decisions of your life is who you choose to marry.
Who you choose to marry. And I believe that. And this is me being in the financial industry, so in mortgage finance for 15 years, going on my 16th year this coming year. And I truly believe this after talking with mentors and talking with very wealthy people and very wise people. I do believe that buying a home and owning real estate is up there. It's one of the largest financial decisions you'll make. But when you go a little bit deeper, who you choose to spend your life with and split your finances with, or be a financial partner with, is really important. Because let's say you get 20 years into it and it falls apart like it does over 50% of the time in America right now. You now are splitting your net worth and starting back essentially near zero, or retracting what you've done over 20 years. So it is really important. Save that. We'll table that for another episode.
Okay.
All right. I think that's great. Let's start out with some stats, though. So I'm going to geek out here, but I think it's really important, and see how relevant this is to you. These are just national stats in America. This is what kind of blows my mind, that in 2021, the lack of financial education cost Americans over $450 billion, whether that's in interest, whether that is making a bad purchase, overspending. But this is the one that really caught your eye and mine when we were prepping for this podcast. 78% of Americans today are living paycheck to paycheck.
That's huge.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad. And I think that we were talking about this. There's three categories, I believe, of people, right? I think there's a category of people that are just doing everything they can.
Yep.
And the cost of living is so high, and maybe they're just not making what they need. They're in survival mode, put it this way. And there's nothing wrong with those people. They're doing they're doing what they can with what they've got, right? Maybe kids, or maybe got dealt a bad hand. Okay, then there's people that are trying to keep up with the Joneses. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot right now, where we're going to get to this in a minute, but you're not tracking, you're not on a budget, you're not tracking what you're spending, and you're kind of that free spirit, and it's getting you into some trouble. And then the third category are people that I actually get to work with, buying their homes, buying their first home, or buying their move-up home or next home. And those are people that have grown their family. Maybe there was two people working and now there's only one, and they've got kids, or maybe one of their kids or one of them encountered a health situation where it's cost them some money or put them back. So those are the three types of people that we're referring to with this statistic. But this is another one, and this will tee up the rest of our show. only 54% of Americans right now in America are financially literate, can pass a financial literacy test. You can Google financial literacy tests. I think every financial planning firm has one. In fact, I've taken a couple of them, and you guys, I'm pretty savvy with this stuff, and they're not the easiest. I've passed them all, but I thought they were going to be a lot easier, and they're not. But I mean, I think people need to understand credit, and people need to understand budgeting and certain things that go along with that. So I think today is going to be very valuable from an elementary budgeting standpoint. Jenny's going to add the color to it.
Oh, really?
Hence the title, Smart Spending. Instead of me just going Budgeting 101.
Yeah, I like smart spending.
Well, what does smart spending mean to you? Like when you're
spending your money wisely, investing your money wisely, saving your money wisely.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about this. So I think there's 5 categories. Okay. There's 5 categories of financial literacy. Yeah. Total side note, if you follow me on Facebook or YouTube, it's a 26-week series, and it's called Modern Money for Young Adults. And it's a financial literacy 101 series. It's free. I just get it out there. I'm about almost halfway through it right now. I took a few weeks off. And it's like 20 or 30 minutes. I go Facebook Live, and I just talk about whatever the topic is. But I've basically written a book, 26 weeks worth of financial literacy things that I think young adults, they're not teaching in high school, they're not teaching in college, and it's just basic financial literacy. Well, they can all of those 26 weeks can fall under these 5 categories. Number 1 is earn, okay? Understanding your pay, how you're paid, understanding what's taken out of your pay, understanding how to make more money. You and I were talking about that the other day. I think paying off debt is important, but so many people are saving, they're not going to Starbucks to save an extra $20 a week or $200 a month, when you and I look at it this way going, well, it'd be a lot easier for you and I to go out and make $500 more a month instead of just saving. So we're kind of flipping the mindset on that.
Yeah, I love that mindset much more.
Yeah, and you and I are both kind of wired entrepreneurially, but I think everyone has a skill set.
I totally believe that. I can meet any person and find their skill in a way to monetize on that.
Yeah. Market it.
And if you don't know your skill, come talk to me and I will help you find a way to make extra money. I think everybody has a gift in them in some way that you can go out and earn money from it.
Well, I mean, just you at the bake shop, for example, the air conditioner goes wrong, or you have a leak, a water leak. Someone always comes forward. Oh, my husband does this. Yeah. And they'll come in on the side and just fix it. Yeah. And you throw them a couple $100 or whatever.
But that's like a trade. I think there's a lot of men and women that sell themselves short, that they have so many talents and skills that they're not even tapping into, things you can do on the side. And I mean, there's 7 days in a week and 24 hours in a day. Yeah. And if you want to make money, there's a way to make money, and there's time to make money. Yeah.
You and I have gone through periods in our life where 10 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning was our side job. It was researching, it was blogging, it was putting together a marketing packet. It was you writing a blog or planning your next menu, editing photos, working. But it was teaching classes. It was for side money. So number 1 is earning, understanding your pay, understanding the benefits that come with your pay. So health, and if your employer matches with a 401k, and then getting the most out of that. What I say by getting the most out of that is understanding with your health insurance, understanding with your employer and their 401k or their employer match, getting the most out of that. That's why most employers have what's called a human resources department. It's free for you as an employee. Go sit down with human resources and maybe take a look at that. Best piece of advice there. So number 1 is earn. Number 2 is save and invest. You have to be wired for the future. And if this example doesn't kind of ring your bell, it should. Allie, our daughter, 16. I look at photos.
17.
What?
Yeah, she is 17.
Did she just turned 17. Yeah. Oh my God, see? I'm losing my marbles and time is passing too quickly. But social media reminds you, 11 years ago, we were in Newport Beach on Easter with our 2 kids, and Allie was like literally 5. I swear to God, I could still hold her in my arms. That seems like yesterday, hanging out with your friends down in Newport Beach, going to Disneyland, letting them run on the beach and go in the water.
Yep.
Yesterday. but that was literally 11 years. So time moves. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep moving forward. And what you do with your money matters. Okay. So saving and investing, save for your future goals, like buying a house or investing in, I say that in real estate or the stock market. Okay. We're not here to give financial advice, but just kind of an overview. Number 3 is protection. Protection, different types of insurance, auto, home, life. One of the...
Oh my gosh, the biggest expense. I remember when we first got married and you were like, we're going to get life insurance. And I remember the insurance guy coming over and giving the cost. And at the time, it was so expensive. I was like, I don't know if we can afford this.
I did 30-year term life.
And you were like, there's no way we're not going to do this. Like, I can go to sleep every night knowing that if something happened to me, you guys would be taken care of. And so we made that. We made that huge kind of sacrifice. It was a sacrifice, but also an investment in our family. That was hard.
So I tell people that there were 2 times in my life where I had inner peace. The first is when I accepted Jesus as my personal savior, and I know where I'm going to go when I die. Personally, I just know where I'm going to go. Of course I don't want to die, but I know there's a better place, right? And then number 2, when I got life insurance, so that if I died before I had a chance to accumulate wealth and give my family, my kids an inheritance, my family would be covered, okay? So understanding the protection aspect of financial literacy is really important. On top of that, there's umbrella insurances. So make sure you're protected there. Number 4 is spending. We're gonna spend the rest of today talking about that. And then the last is borrowing. Borrowing smart. That's what I do for a living, you guys. I'm in mortgage finance. If you have questions on borrowing money, whether it be a mortgage or a line of credit or an auto loan, and that's why I'm teaching that 26-week series, because there are chapters on the cost of an auto, cost of owning a car, the cost of owning a home, all of these things. So most of the time we don't pay cash for those types of things, and so we finance them, and that's where I think you could save a lot of money by doing that the right way. So those are the 4 aspects of financial literacy. We're going to spend the rest of today talking about spending and smart spending. So you defined it a minute ago as what you think smart spending is. But let's discuss the different ways to spend money smart. Like, I hear you say that, and I'm thinking, like, are you talking about cutting coupons? Like, what do you mean by smart spending?
Well, let me think of different times when here's an example from when we were very young. When we were first married, we bought our first home, and I was like, I have graduated from IKEA furniture. Like, we are going to get good furniture in our first home together. And I wanted Pottery Barn furniture, but I didn't have the budget for that. I owned my own coffee stand at the time, so I was already doing, my 9-to-5 job or whatever my 5 days were, 6 days. But in my spare time, I got a job at Pottery Barn, and I got a 40% discount, and I furnished our entire house. I had the best gifts for everybody.
Spent all your paychecks and then some,
didn't you? But that's the way. There's an example of smart spending. Like, I bought the investment in our home. I worked there literally for 9 years off and on. I could not let go of that discount, but I knew I had to spend the money. So what was a way I could do it? And I mean, that's a shopping example. One example I give Allie a lot in spending. This is like girl talk right now, but I've taught Allie the concept of cost per wear. Okay. So Allie, when you go to Target and you want to buy a t-shirt and you're only going for $20 and you're only going to wear it one time or 2 times, that t-shirt costs you
$20.
$20. Or if you wear it twice, $10 per wear.
Yeah.
Maybe you want a nicer shirt at Lululemon that's $50, but you wear it 25 times. How much did that shirt cost you?
You got a better deal at Lulu. Yeah.
You got a better deal, but also you got something like smarter spending. You invested your money a little bit wiser. And she's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I think a lot of women, I'm going to talk about, how women spend. We're like, oh, it's such a good deal. Oh, the Target dollar spot. Like we need to buy it. It's only $1 or it's on sale. But you know what? It's plug your ears, guys, but it's true. If you don't need it, then it's not a good deal.
So I joke about this with you and your mom, mainly your mom. She was like, Dan, it was 40% off. I said, but it was still $20.
If you needed it, then yes, what a great deal. But if you don't need it, then
but it was on sale. It doesn't matter. It was still
I think girls
$30.
just love the hunt of a good deal. Like everybody loves
everyone
a good
does.
deal.
Yeah.
And I think women like to shop almost like it's a hobby.
Yeah, but let me tell you this. Big brands and America knows the psychology of spending and the psychology.
It makes you feel good.
Sales make you feel good.
Yep.
Discounts make you feel good. And it's wired us to think that we got a discount when they're still making 200-400% profit on that product. So
and
it's
this is where you and I completely differ because I do love to shop.
Yep.
I love to get something new, whether that's a new outfit or something new for our home or I don't know, go to Target and find some little treasure. And you could care less. Mm-hmm. You can wear the same thing until it literally has holes in it.
I do wear the same thing until it has holes in it.
Where I'm like, I love this so much, I better get it in every single color.
This is a great transition into budgeting. There were times when you weren't doing that, though. There were times where things were very tight for us. And while you were working at Pottery Barn, and we didn't buy that extra piece of furniture for our bonus room that we really didn't need. There were times where you went to Target and didn't buy things other than...
You just don't go to Target.
Or you just don't go, right?
Or like in current days, I use like a Shipt shopper, which is like the personal grocery delivery service because you don't go to the store and find things you need. You only send the shopper the items
what you need.
That you do need.
Necessities. So I will tell you this. If you were... This is information I give my clients. If you are in the middle of paying down debt and you're focused on paying off debt, you're not in a great financial situation, you're trying to claw yourself out of, some debt, then you don't need to be going to Target. You don't need to be going out to dinner. You don't need to be going to the movies. These are sacrifices that you make to achieve a goal. Okay. So I'm not being rude. I'm not being mean. It's the harsh reality. I talk to my kids about this in sports. There's things that you have to do in order to prepare for game day. And if you don't practice, and if you're not watching what you eat, and you're not working out extra, you can't cheat the grind. And it's the same thing with your finances. It's you make X, you have X, and you don't spend what you don't have. So this brings us right into kind of my bread and butter, what I like to teach and what I have really, guys, and there were times a long time ago when I first got into mortgage, into finance, Dave Ramsey inspired me to get into finance because of all of the great financial education that he had. And I was seeing people apply with me that were a mess, that couldn't qualify for a mortgage, that had bad credit scores, that had no idea. They should not have even been shopping for a home. And so that encouraged me to learn more about this so that I could be that educational resource to my clients when they're sitting in front of me versus leaving that up to chance on the internet. I believe it all starts with budgeting. Okay. So let me ask you this.
Here we
go. Well, let me ask you this so you can be my color commentator. Okay. Like we're it's the NFL football game. You got a guy that is running kind of the commentary. He knows the game. He knows everything. And then you got the Tony Romo, the athlete that used to play, that's going to make broadcasting fun. You're going to make it fun. Okay. I'm the guy that knows the meats and potatoes, the meat and potatoes. So when I say the word budget to you, what instantly comes to mind?
Oh, I don't like that word. I feel like I can't spend money. Like we have to watch everything. Like it takes away all the fun. I think that's what it is.
Okay. But you feel held back. You feel monitored. Yes. You feel restricted.
That's why I like the word smart spending better.
Okay. So let's frame it this way then, Jenny.
Okay.
So you don't like the word budget. It's a tough word. You feel like you're being watched. You feel like you're being monitored. You feel like you're restricted. Fast forward 20 years. If you stuck to a budget and you got to spend the rest of your life when it really mattered, when you really didn't want to work any longer, financially free, how would you feel then?
I would feel great. I guess I should say I don't use the word hate very much, but I dislike the word budget. It's fine. I mean, we talked about party planning last week, and you have to have a budget, or else you can't do the party. You run out of money.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to like when you say, okay, we're on a budget, or you tell the kids we're on a budget, I instantly know that we're not doing a lot of things I love to do. Yeah. But I know that you say it with wisdom.
Yeah. We're on a budget. We're always on a budget.
There's a reason why we're on a budget.
Because there's no money coming in.
Yes. So why do you guys think I'm cooking all the time at home?
I love it.
You know, you can make budgeting fun. Mm-hmm. Your family appreciates it too.
So here's how you make it fun. I'm going to make budgeting very, very fun. Okay. We're not going to go over spreadsheets today. I'm going to give you a strategy. 2 things. Okay. The first thing, you have to, with budgeting, it's like you're going to go on a road trip. You have to know where you're at and you have to know where you're going in order to successfully arrive at your destination, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to know how much money you have coming in every single month. That's your paychecks that you deposit in the bank. That's investments, whatever deposits you have into your account. Normally with most people, it's only a couple or a few, right? So what's coming in every single month, and then you have to know what's going out every single month, okay? That's a basic budget. So you've got what's coming in and then what's going out. How do you know what's going out? I think it's really easy to know what's coming in. You just look at your bank statements. Your checks are deposited in your bank and you can see deposits and you add that up, okay? How do you know what's going out every single month? That's a little bit different because you have bills, you have credit cards, you have things auto deducted out of your checking, your savings. Yeah, you have a life that happens. And so this is what I have my clients do. Take your last bank statement and take your last credit card statements, okay? And you're going to take a highlighter, a yellow highlighter and a pink. Pink is good because Jenny loves pink. So pink is good, yellow is bad.
Okay.
And you're going to highlight all unnecessary purchases. These would be called wants. These are 7-Eleven, Starbucks, going out to dinner, Target, unnecessary. Now your necessary, your pink, is groceries, car loan, your mortgage or your rent, necessary. Okay. Utilities, insurances, stuff like that. Now you know where you're at. Now you know you've plugged in your coordinates. Where are we taking a road trip to? Your favorite place? What is that called down in California? You want to take a RV to?
Big Sur.
Big Sur. Okay, we're on our way to Big Sur. We got to plug in our coordinates. Seattle, Washington. We're going to Big Sur, California, and it's going to give us directions. So now we know what's coming in. Now we know what's going out every single month, and now we know what's left over. Okay, what's left over? Let me backtrack. What is coming out every single month as you look at debt is going to tell you to do with what's left over. If you have credit card debt or debt that has higher interest, you're going to take what's left over and you're going to pay that down. You're going to pick one account and you're going to pay that thing down the fastest. I like picking the account that has the highest interest rate because rates are going up and high interest will kill you. Just clobber it. Move to the next one. Clobber it. Now you're debt free and ideally you're now debt free. And all of your expenses are needs, not wants. Now it takes you to the next level. What's left over, you can invest. What's left over, you can save, okay? So that's budgeting tactic number 1. The second is really fun. I've talked about this on Instagram. There's a formula. I like it. It's something to try to live to or aspire to. It's called the 50-30-20 rule, okay? So 50% of that money that's coming in every single month should be allocated to necessities, living, okay? Everything there. Now, 30% can be toward more of the wants, okay? The saving for a vacation, the going out to dinner, stuff like that, okay? And then the 20%, if you invest into a modest investment account, 20% of your gross income over 20 years, you will set yourself up for financial freedom. That's why I love that formula. We're not going to go into too much depth on it, but those are the 2 keys to successfully managing a budget. Did I complicate that or was that pretty simple?
No, I think it's super good and easy to understand.
Cool.
I would love to think that most people do know how to do that. They just don't want to.
You'd be shocked, babe. I just don't think.
They don't know?
I think we
we're
all
getting
know.
into the next little area, which is how to make wise purchasing decisions. And I think that's maybe what you're going to say. Like some people don't make wise purchase decisions. I think that's where they don't know how to do the budget. Like they buy a house they can't afford. They buy a car they can't afford. They wear clothes they can't afford. They go out to dinner and go travel places they can't afford.
Well, and here's a really easy example where I'll connect budgeting with life. New Year's resolutions, you're overweight. What do? You go sign up for a gym. You go to the gym, you go on the internet, you think you kind of have a workout picked out, but there are so many ways to work out. There are so many things you can do, different exercise programs, different nutrition programs, all of that stuff. You know you need to go to the gym. You kind of think you might know what you need to do, but you're not getting the most out of it. Therefore, you don't see the greatest results. Therefore, you stop going.
Yeah.
Same thing with budgeting. Same thing with budgeting. So I think what we've talked about kind of gives you that game plan. I don't think enough people really know how to budget. Let me hit pause real quick. If you go to budgetwithdan.com, I have a 10-minute video, and I teach the spreadsheets that Jenny and I, it's a 1-page spreadsheet. We've used it for the last 8 years. Every single month, I have to turn it into my coach, my financial coach, okay? Budgetwithdan.com. Everything's there. Video, all the forms that I teach. And there's also a financial awareness quiz that I've put together for my clients or just for people in general. But that's where I start to teach entry-level to mid-level financial literacy for my clients. I send them there. Budgetwithdan.com. There's a plug. And it's all free. You don't have to even type in your name.
I love it. I love it. What's next, Dan?
Well, I think after budgeting, I think making wise purchase decisions is big. And I think you do a really great job of that in regards to necessary purchase decisions.
I do my best.
You do a good job. I think you look for deals. I think you look for discounts. I don't think, put it this way, we don't throw a bunch of groceries away every single month. So I think you buy for the week, you buy for consumption. I think we kind of already talked about that too. Tips for smart spending. I think that, I think being cautious, do I need this or do I want this, is a really, really great question to ask yourself.
Well, and in this day and age, my girlfriend and I joke about this all the time because we were talking about something we wanted or I wanted. And I said, I do not need that, but probably talking about Stanleys. Okay. How many Stanleys can one person really own? I do not need another Stanley, but there's a brand new color out. And she's like, Jenny, at this point in our life, pretty much everything is going to be a want.
Yeah.
Besides the basics, we don't need anything. Mm-hmm. It's like when I try to think of something that my grandparents need for Christmas, at their age in life, it's really hard to find them a gift for something they need. We're actually there too. We need nothing.
Yeah.
We have everything. We are so blessed. We are so fortunate. We have so many things. But yeah, sometimes your kids might need some new socks, or they might need new underwear, or, there are need school supplies, but for the most part, we are so richly blessed in everything that we have. So it's hard to make that call sometimes.
So if I could ask you, what's one area in your life that you kind of, the little free spirit in you is a little too free? What's one area in your life that you think you could cut back a little?
No. Is this going to be my weekly challenge?
No. It's one of the things I ask my clients when we're talking about budgeting.
Obviously I could cut back on my closet. Like clothes. I love clothes.
Yeah, but in your defense, so then let's talk about smart spending. I see you and Allie once a year, maybe twice a year, taking your clothes to either Goodwill to donate, but I think before that you go to...
Yeah, I've taught Allie, take your clothes to Plato's Closet. Like a... secondhand place, or Allie has started, she'll put her stuff on her, Snapchat or something, and her friends will buy her clothes. Cause I'm like, yeah, we definitely want to donate. And there's been times when I used to clean out my whole closet and I'd take it to the bake shop and be like, do you guys want any of this? And it always makes me feel good when I can, let people enjoy things I've had too.
Yep.
I love to give. You can always come over and pretty much have anything in my house if you want it. But that would be one area I'm sure I could scale back on, because I definitely know I do not need any new clothes. Allie definitely doesn't need any skincare. The child owns the entire Sephora store, right? Yeah. It's just she loves it. That's what she spends her money on.
You just made a great example. So Allie will sell her clothes or her shoes, or Hudson will do the same with his shoes online, in these groups or whatever, Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. And so it's ways what we've already taught our kids that they need to do this. They need to find ways to bring in money. Yeah. You can go mow lawns. You can detail cars. You can power wash driveways. That's what Hudson does. Or Allie's getting to the point where she can do people's makeup. She does your makeup and does a brilliant job. Yeah. So
I've got her job lined up. When she's ready, I know her little business plan. And Hudson details cars. He sells crab. He goes and catches fresh crab in our neighborhood. He catches fish and sells them. So there's always ways to kind of get a return on some of your investments.
Well, I want to leave you guys with some food for thought. Okay. Americans are overspending right now at an all-time high, and these are the top 6 areas that they're overspending. So I want you to just do kind of like a checkup from the neck up, right? Are you doing this? Number one, the number one way Americans, I actually thought it was what is number 2. I thought this was number 1, but the number one way that Americans are overspending in 2023
is literally what I just said.
Is what you just said. It's online shopping. Yep.
Because it's in your face all day, every day. And guess what? I'm in your face every day.
Yeah.
I'm an influencer. Yeah. I am showing you the best deals, what I found, and I follow people that I love what they have. And it takes all the search out of it. You're like, oh, I love this girl. Click. I've always loved everything that she has told me about, and so I buy it. You get on. We don't go to the store anymore because the girls we follow or the people we follow, they found the deal for us. They found the best shoe. They found the best jeans. They found the best cup or makeup or sunscreen or whatever it is. And I do it too. I am so guilty of this. So if you can't afford it, do not click on my link. But if you can, I just found you a really good deal.
There you go. All right. So number 1 is online shopping. Number 2, this is what I thought was number 1, and it's food. People are overspending on food, not eating out.
It's Starbucks. It's McDonald's drive-through. I mean, gosh, you were saying the other day too how expensive things are. You're like, I took Hudson after baseball to grab a Subway or Panera bread. It was $31 for a sandwich and a cup of macaroni and cheese. $31.
Yep.
I mean, so it adds up. Can you go home and make a sandwich? Sure. Bet you can make a box of macaroni
for 5
and
or
cheese.
6. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So number 2 is food. Number 3, subscription services.
Oh my gosh. There are apps and things in your phone that can help you identify the subscription services that you pay for. Did you know this?
No.
Oh, there's a way. Google it because I probably can't explain it here, but it will show you the different things you're subscribed to on your phone, and you can delete them right now because how many times do we subscribe to something we don't even realize we're paying for it if we're not, pulling our budgets on our credit cards. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My friend Kelly and I signed up for like a Weight Watchers app, like literally 2 years ago. It was supposed to be like free for 90 days or something. And I'm like, sure, I'll do points with you. I've been paying for Weight Watchers.
Don't tell me how much.
No, I know. Here's a good thing. You can usually call those places and they will give you your money back.
Got it. Okay. You forgot.
But you didn't even know you were spending $25 a month on it.
Okay, that's number 3. Number 4 is a big one. Technology-related products like upgrading your iPhone when the new one comes out.
Gotta have the new headphones.
Really
gotta have the new computer.
Yeah.
That's, again, it's the online in your face telling you gotta... It's not even keeping up with the Joneses. It's just like, oh, I want that new phone. Because there's a new feature on it. It's a better camera. It's more storage. I'm guilty of this. I'm like, I need it. It's my job. Like the phone is your job.
Allie was making fun of me a year or so ago, because you and Allie had a better phone than me, and I do.
No, Allie and Hudson had better phones than you and I.
And I spend 80% of my day on the phone and doing videos and stuff like that. It was funny. So, so technology-related products, that's phones, it's computers, it's iPads, it's stuff like that.
Video games.
This one is number 5. It's fast food.
Oh, it's a separate category.
It's separate than food. Yeah, the first food was like what you're buying just to eat, to bring home, stuff like that. Number 5 is fast food. And number 6, which I thought was going to rank higher on the list, coffee.
Oh, okay. So I would have thought coffee and fast food were in the same category.
Separate categories.
Well, I am happy to report that I do not go through Starbucks anymore since I started drinking Better Greens last May.
Yeah.
Think of the thousands and thousands of dollars I have saved and how much healthier I am.
Yeah. I agree. You were a Starbucks girl. And
oh my gosh, sometimes twice a day.
Well,
I don't think you knew that, but I would take the kids to school, go get my Starbucks, and then on the way back, I'd need another one. I know it's bad.
And
now I'll admit Hudson and I go to Starbucks and get like breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
Not every day.
But you're not getting coffee twice a day. That's a big win. Good for you, Jenny Cookies.
I mean, I bring my own drink in my Stanley.
You do. Yeah, there you go. You're getting money. What'd you say? Something about the purchase that you taught Allie?
It's cost per wear. Cost per use is the same thing. Like I use my Stanley every single day. So if you think about it, If you paid $45 for a Stanley Cup, but you use it every single day.
And if it's keeping you from spending $200 a week at Starbucks, then hey, that's a win.
It is.
Big win. All right, you guys. So at the end of the day, today's podcast, and when I talk with people about budgeting, it has one goal in mind, and it's called financial freedom. I believe that when you're 60, I also believe that retirement is not an age. Okay. It's a mindset thing. Retirement is a number. It's not an age. And when I learned this 4 years ago, I got to work extra hard in the mortgage industry, multiple streams of income, flipping homes, because retirement's a number. It's not an age. When you establish your number, and if you go to Budget with Dan, there's a form that teaches you how to figure out what your number is for retirement. What do you need in investments or in the bank to retire and live off of that money healthy, in a healthy manner? So this is all about attaining financial freedom. Dave Ramsey is almost a billionaire today because he has given Americans hope and a game plan for being financially free. Okay. So I hope today's episode blesses you. I loved being able to do this with my wife, who is the free spirit, the beautiful free spirit. And here's to your financial freedom, our financial freedom. And remember this, take this away with you, that retirement is not an age. Don't let someone tell you that when you're 62, you get to retire. Retirement's a number. Don't wait to 62 if you can do it when you're in your 50s or sooner. We always leave people with a little homework or a takeaway.
Okay, what is it today, Dan?
I think that you should go to budgetwithdan.com. I really do think you should go there. I think you should, if you haven't done a budget, do a budget. And I think you should do the one thing that I asked you to do. What's one of the things that we talked about today? What's one area that you think you could improve upon relative to your budget?
I said my closet, and here's ways I always, and if this is you, let me encourage you. When you think you need a new outfit, the best thing you can do is go clean out your closet, because you find things you didn't know you had, or you're like, oh, I could wear this or that. It's amazing. It's like a magic trick. It works every time.
There's your fashion tip of the week. All right, take us home.
Thanks for listening, you guys. We will be back next week with another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. Goodbye.